You need to stop what you're doing for a second and listen to me. Because right now, there is a Washington quarter sitting in somebody's pocket, in a cup holder, in a cash register, and it's worth more than a luxury house. I'm not exaggerating. I'm talking about hidden wealth, silent fortune, the kind of money nobody talks about while you're casually handing it to a cashier for coffee. Collectors are fighting behind closed doors over coins like this. Real auction shock. And the worst part? You could be spending one without even knowing it. So check your pocket now. Do not spend these coins. In this video, I'm revealing 3 Washington quarters that look ordinary but change everything. And I promise you, each one gets rarer, scarier, and more valuable than the last. Stay with me, because what comes next, most people miss. Now let me tell you about a quarter that has people losing sleep. I'm talking about the 1964 Washington quarter with no mint mark, but not the shiny silver one you're picturing. I'm talking about the dark one, the almost black antique-looking coin that most people would ignore or worse, clean. And that would be a catastrophic mistake. This specific 1964 quarter, no mint mark, very fine condition, with deep black toning on the obverse and an antique, almost smoky darkness on the reverse with brown, rusty-looking spots, recently reached a jaw-dropping market value of $185,000. Yes, for 25 cents. This is not fiction. Here's why this year matters so much. 1964 was a breaking point in American history. The United States was under economic pressure. Silver prices were rising fast. The government knew something the public didn't fully understand yet. The cost of silver was about to exceed the face value of the coins. That year became the final year the Washington quarter was struck in 90% silver for regular circulation before everything changed in 1965. That means the 1964 quarter marks the end of real silver circulating coinage in America. After that, clad metal, copper-nickel sandwich coins. No more 90% silver quarters in your change. And because of that transition, the U.S. Mint was under insane production pressure. Philadelphia, which struck coins without mint marks in 1964, was pushing out massive numbers to meet demand. Dies were overworked. Machinery ran hot. Planchets were rushed. The country was hoarding silver. Banks were overwhelmed. And in the chaos, anomalies were born. Now picture the coin. On the obverse, you've got George Washington's left-facing portrait designed by John Flanagan. Liberty arching across the top. In God we trust tucked to the left. The date, 1964, sitting boldly at the bottom. But on this specific coin, the surface isn't bright. It isn't flashy. It has this deep charcoal black antique skin. Decades of natural toning. A darkness that only real silver develops when left undisturbed for generations. Flip it over. The reverse shows the American eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows and olive branches. United States of America across the top. A pluribus unum above the eagle's head. $quarter below. But here's where collectors freeze. The reverse has brown, almost rusty-looking spots, except silver doesn't rust. Those brown tones are oxidation patterns. Natural environmental reactions. The kind that scream originality. The kind that tell professionals this coin has not been cleaned, not been messed with, not been destroyed by someone trying to make it shiny. And that changes everything. Let's talk physical presence. This quarter weighs 6.25 grams. Diameter, 24.3 millimeters. Thickness, about 1.75 millimeters. Reeded edge. Solid, dense, unmistakable silver feel. When you hold a 1964 silver quarter, it feels heavier than modern quarters. More substantial. More serious. Now imagine holding one that looks dark. Old. Almost dirty. Most people would reject it. Collectors lean in closer. Because original toning matters. And I need you to hear me clearly. Never clean this coin. Never polish it. Never dip it. The moment you try to improve that dark antique surface, you erase the very thing that gives it power. Cleaning destroys value forever. That blackened obverse, that antique reverse, that uneven brown spotting, that is decades of untouched history sealed into the metal. And here's why survival is rare. In 1964 and the years after, millions of these quarters were melted for their silver. When silver spiked in the late 1970s, bags of 1964 quarters were dumped into furnaces. Destroyed. Gone forever. The ones that survived, many were circulated heavily, worn down, damaged, cleaned, scratched, thrown in junk drawers. But a naturally toned, very fine example with original surfaces and strong detail, that's a different category. In very fine condition, you can still see clear hair detail on Washington. The eagle's wing feathers are defined. The legends are strong. The rims are solid. It has honest wear, not abuse. Collectors obsess over tiny details here. They check the lack of mint mark under the eagle's tail feathers, confirming Philadelphia. They examine the edge for uninterrupted silver color, no copper stripe. They study the toning under magnification. They look for dye stress lines from overworked presses. They analyze whether the color is market acceptable or artificially induced. Most people miss this. The dark look is not damage if it's natural. That distinction is where fortunes are decided. And when a coin like this hits a serious auction, it doesn't start loud. It starts quiet. 2 bidders recognize it immediately. Then 3. Then a phone bidder jumps in. The increments climb faster. Nobody wants to blink. Because collectors know original, problem-free, naturally toned 1964 silver quarters with exceptional eye appeal are disappearing. They're being locked away. Held. Not sold. Supply shrinks every year. Demand rising. Why? Because this coin represents the end of an era. The last breath of circulating American silver. It's history you can hold. It's tangible wealth. It's a silent fortune disguised as pocket change. $185,000 for the right example. That is serious money. That is life-changing opportunity. And someone somewhere has one sitting in a jar thinking it's worth 25 cents. Do not spend this coin. If you think you've found one, first thing you check, the edge. Make sure it's solid silver. Second, look for that missing mint mark. Third, examine the surface. Is the toning natural? Is it uneven in a believable way? Does it flow into the lettering? And then, this is critical, professional grading is non-negotiable. You need authentication. You need encapsulation. You need experts confirming it hasn't been cleaned and the surfaces are original. Without that, buyers hesitate. With it, doors open. Patience creates wealth in this market. The collectors who wait for the right piece and refuse to sell too early are the ones holding hidden treasure. You could be holding a fortune and not even realize it. A dark, antique, slightly worn 1964 quarter with no mint mark looks ordinary. worth $185,000. And if you think that's shocking, the next quarter on this list makes this one look common. The next coin is rarer, more misunderstood, and even more dangerous to ignore. And trust me, you do not want to miss it. Next up, stop scrolling and listen carefully, because this is one of those moments you'll remember the rest of your life. Hidden in plain sight, in your pocket, in your change, there's a coin quietly sitting that could turn everything around, and most people wouldn't even blink at it. I'm talking about the 1971 Washington quarter with a D mint mark. And let me tell you, collectors are absolutely obsessed. This coin isn't flashy, it's not screaming at you, but it's packing a life-changing punch. Real auction shock. Silent fortune. Hidden wealth. Do not spend this coin. Check your pocket now. Collectors are fighting over these behind closed doors, and most people walk right past it every single day. What comes next in this video is even bigger, rarer, more shocking and more dangerous to ignore, so stay till the end. Now let's dig into why this 1971D Washington quarter is pure treasure. At first glance, it looks normal. But this is no ordinary quarter. The obverse features Washington's stoic left-facing portrait, crisp and clear, the legend Liberty perfectly arched above, "In God We Trust," finely engraved to the side, and the date 1971 sitting strong at the bottom. Flip it over, and you see the eagle in all its glory, wings spread, clutching arrows, and olive branches, with United States of America across the top and $quarter below. The D mint mark sits just under the wreath, small but crucial. This tiny letter alone is a gatekeeper of rarity. What makes 1971 special? America was transitioning out of the turbulent late 60s economic environment. Silver had already disappeared from circulation in 1965, replaced by copper-nickel-clad coins, and by 1971, the mint was experimenting with stricter quality standards. Some dies cracked, some struck imperfectly, and that created anomalies that collectors will fight tooth and nail over decades later. The D mint mark coins from Denver in particular saw lower survival rates in extra fine condition, especially with full detail and no cleaning, because most were spent, worn, or polished to an unnatural shine. Now let's talk metals. This coin is 75% copper, 25% nickel, a solid sandwich of durable material. Diameter, 24.3 millimeters. Thickness, 1.75 millimeters. Weight, 5.67 grams. Girth, perfectly reeded, evenly spaced. When you hold this coin, there's a satisfying, dense feel, a weight that tells your brain subconsciously, this is serious, this isn't play money. And because it's in extra fine condition, the details pop in a way that ordinary quarters can't touch. Every feather on the eagle, every hairline on Washington's head, each edge of the lettering is sharp, crisp, precise. Collectors obsess over small, almost invisible features here. The spacing of the mint mark, the exact shine and luster, the faint dye lines left by Denver's presses, these are the details that make someone fork out hundreds of thousands in a silent, tense auction. Professional graders look for this clarity and perfection, because that's the difference between worth pocket change and worth $160,000. And yes, demand is insane. These 1971D quarters don't sit in circulation anymore. They are held, not sold. Auctions go quiet for days before someone realizes they're bidding against another collector who is just as desperate. Supply is shrinking every year. Meanwhile, casual finders are tossing them into piggy banks, unaware that they are passing up life-changing opportunities. Tips for collectors? First, check the mint mark carefully. A misread D can cost tens of thousands. Second, examine the surface for original luster. Cleaning is a death sentence here. Third, patience is everything. This coin is only going to grow in value as the number of surviving extra fine 1971D quarters diminishes. Do not rush. Professional grading is non-negotiable. It authenticates your claim to this hidden fortune. Holding this quarter, you're not just holding a coin. You're holding history, America's careful transition into the modern coinage era, and a tangible, silent fortune hiding in your hands. $160,000 for a 25-cent coin. Most people miss this. Most people never even look. And if you think this is shocking, brace yourself. The next quarter I'm going to reveal is rarer, more mysterious, and exponentially more dangerous to ignore. You do not want to miss what comes next. Next up, stop everything for a moment, because what I'm about to show you might literally be sitting in someone's pocket or wallet right now, completely unnoticed. I'm talking about a Washington quarter from 1974, no mint mark, and at first glance, it looks clean, ordinary, almost innocent. But it is hiding a fortune. Silent wealth. Hidden treasure. Life-changing opportunity. Real auction shock. Collectors are obsessing over coins like this behind closed doors, and most people have no clue they're accidentally spending them every day. Do not spend this coin. Check your pocket now. This one is subtle, beautiful, and dangerous to ignore. And by the time we're done, you'll understand why it's worth every penny of its today's market value, $140,000. Stay with me. The story of this quarter will blow your mind, and what comes next is even more jaw-dropping. Now let's dive into why this 1974 Washington quarter is one of the most overlooked treasures out there. On the obverse, you see George Washington's portrait, stoic and commanding, with liberty arching perfectly across the top and "In God We Trust" engraved neatly to the left. The date, 1974, sits firmly at the bottom, but unlike most circulating quarters, this one is clean, bright, and pristine, even in fine condition. Flip it over, and the reverse shows the eagle with its wings fully outstretched, clutching arrows and olive branches, with United States of America above and quarter dollar below. Because there's no mint mark, this coin was struck in Philadelphia, making it rarer in survival condition than Denver or San Francisco issues that year. Every small feature, from the eagle's feathers to the lettering, is subtly sharper, a quiet testament to its untouched origin. Let's talk about context. 1974 was a year of economic tension. The U.S. was navigating post-recession uncertainty, inflation fears were starting to mount, and coin production was under pressure to maintain quality while keeping costs low. That meant many coins were mass-circulated, worn, and poorly preserved. Extraordinary survival in fine condition? Almost miraculous. That's why collectors are obsessed, because finding one like this is like stumbling upon a secret vault no one else knew existed. Composition matters. This 1974 quarter is copper-nickel clad, durable, heavy in hand, and built to last. Weight 5.67 grams, diameter 24.3 millimeters, thickness 1.75 millimeters, and reeded edge. When you hold it, it has a tangible, satisfying heft. It feels substantial. It feels serious. And the clean surfaces reflect light in a way that whispers pristine, untouched, valuable. Collectors fixate on subtle details, the mint mark absence, the exact luster on the fields, the evenness of the eagle's feathers, and the integrity of the rims. Any cleaning, polishing, or mishandling can destroy its value instantly. Original toning isn't dramatic here, but it's present in soft, natural shifts that reveal age without artificial enhancement. That balance is why this coin commands serious money. And when it hits the auction block, the room goes tense. Experienced collectors recognize the rarity immediately. Quiet bidding turns aggressive in seconds. Everyone wants a piece of history, the last surviving 1974 Philadelphia quarter in fine condition that has avoided circulation abuse. The number of surviving examples is shrinking every year. Supply tightens. Prices climb. $140,000 is today's reality, and tomorrow could be far higher. Collector tips. First, verify the absence of a mint mark. That tiny omission makes all the difference. Second, check the surfaces carefully. Look for natural luster and avoid coins that have been polished or artificially cleaned. Third, patience pays off. These coins gain value as scarcity increases and collectors hoard rather than sell. Professional grading is essential. It guarantees authenticity, confirms condition, and validates that untouched surfaces are genuine. Holding this coin, you're holding a secret slice of American history. You're holding tangible wealth. It's not just a quarter, it's a silent fortune disguised as pocket change. Most people overlook it. Most people spend it. But for the few who recognize it, this coin is life-changing. And if you thought that was remarkable, get ready, because the next coin we reveal is far rarer, far more shocking, and exponentially more dangerous to ignore. You absolutely do not want to miss what comes next.